What's up everyone, Joseph here. In this video, we're going to take a look at the grammar that is on page 33 of the book. That's page 33 on Unit 5. Models for necessity and suggestions. So, there are many ways we can express necessity and obligation. Some of them are using must, need to, and have to. For example, you must go home now. It's like expressing an obligation, forcing the person to do something. You must go home now. I need to take my medicine. So that this can be interpreted as a necessity or an obligation or both. I need to take my medicine. It's a necessity and might be an obligation. For example, in a situation where the person needs the medicine to survive, or we have to get out of here immediately. It's like a necessity or an obligation, depending on the situation. But they are both. They all of these ideas express necessity and obligation. One of them are more urgent than others, but they all express necessity and obligation. So must, need to, and have to have similar meanings and are therefore interchangeable. Though I would say need to is more for necessities. But again, you can use one or the other for expressing the same ideas. So for suggestions, we can use had better, oughta, and should. Ought to. You can say ought to or oughta, however you feel better. Oughta is more for native speakers. So if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can say oughta. But it's better to say ought to for now. You had better clean the backyard like I told you. It's like a suggestion. You had better clean the backyard like I told you. Well, it's more like a warning, but we're going to explain that in some seconds. You ought to help. You ought to get help for the pain. You should sleep more. So these are suggestions. So had better, ought to, and should have similar meanings, but differ in strength. So had better is the strongest and most formal of the three, and it's usually used for warnings. Like we see here, you had better clean the backyard like I told you. It's like a warning. You're telling the person, you had better, hey, this is something I want you to do. Like a warning, warning the person to do something. Roger had better finish his work. It's like a warning, like I said. And he'd better be home right now. Another warning. Okay, so this is the contraction of he had, he'd, and this is the contraction of I had, I'd. Here we can see the use of he'd in a sentence. He'd better be home right now. Instead of saying he had better be home right now, we just say he'd. Instead of saying I had better be home right now, we say I'd, and they had, and others represents a she'd instead of she had, you'd instead of you had, and we'd instead of we had, and so on. So the order for strength between suggestions and necessities is should and ought to. These are weak for advice and opinions only. So should and ought are used for advice and opinions. So these are weak modals. Had better is a little bit stronger and it's used for a warning, to give warnings. And must, need to, and have to are for an obligation, for something that is necessary, for an obligation or necessity. Necessity. For an obligation or necessity, let's say. We usually use the base form of the verb after a modal, except for have, need, and out. With these modals, you have to use the infinitive. Let's see. I have played today. No, you have to say I have to play today. We out look for a better hotel. No, we say we ought to look for a better hotel. And the same with need. You don't say I need go. You say I need to go. The structure for positive sentences. Subject, modal, plus to, if necessary, only if necessary. The verb and the complement. We should leave this place now. We should leave this place now. Subject, the modal, the verb, without to because it's not necessary to use to in this case. This place now, the complement. I need to go to work. I need to go to work. Subject, need, to go, the verb, the infinitive in this case. Need is the modal. To work, the complement. Rodolfo must ask his parents for permission. Rodolfo, the subject, must, the modal, ask, the verb, and the complement. For negative sentence, we use must not. Must not in this for when we use must, they must not buy the TV. They must not buy the TV. The subject, the modal, negative, buy, and the complement. Don't have to in the case of the use of have. I don't have to travel this week. I don't have to travel this week. Um, Subject, in this case, we have to use don't and have as auxiliaries. To travel, the infinitive, this week. Don't need to. Don't need to with need. They don't need to pay. She doesn't need to pay. Subject, to auxiliaries like before, to pay the the infinitive. Had not better. For had better, we use had not better. He had not better come late. He had not better come late. He had not better come late. The subject, the auxiliary had in this case, and the verb come. Ought not to. They ought not to buy that house. Subject, the modal, not, to buy the infinitive, that house. And should not. The animal should not pay the price of this misfortune. The animal, the subject, should, modal, negative, pay, the, the verb, the price of this misfortune, the complement. So we can also write the short form of each model. For example, you can say they mustn't they mustn't buy the TV in the case of must not. In this case, you don't have to use contractions. We use the contraction here. We don't. Have stays the same, and here need stays the same as well. And out, it stays The same, there is no contraction with this one. Well, as far as I know. And with this, we can say shouldn't. The animal shouldn't pay the price of this misfortune. So this is the end of the video. I will see you on the next one.